Somebody help us quickly. Take up those microphones for us. Good night, everyone. Good night. Am I hearing myself well? No. Give me some more juice. Give me some more juice, Adrien. Make me feel good. Make me feel good. Make me feel good. It's a good thing that I was here to listen to Dr. Carty, because I happen to have what you call a chubby. And we want to recognize our sponsor. The Island Purified Water have partnered with us in this symposium, and they have supplied Dr. Carty's fresh water for us to drink. We have it at the back there. We could just put it at the front. If you do need your water, let us know. Let me just get this right. And then make sure that I am okay. Beautiful. Every night, when I will come here to interact with you, to interface with you, this celebration will come on the screen. I put it tonight, but every night it will be put in by Carlton, so that I will walk in to the celebration and we'll all stand to celebrate. Now I have with me a lot of pieces of cloth. I want all my ushers to come forward. All my ushers, please come forward. Come quickly and give as many persons as possible a piece of this cloth. Help me, Abba, everybody. Even those who are not ushers, just come and help us quickly. So that every night we are going to stand up. Adrien, I'm not feeling well. During the day I used to feel better with this one. I'm not feeling well. I'm not feeling well. Okay, it's better. It's coming up. Yes, better.
Feedback.
Okay, it's better. Fine.
Feedback.
We are going to stand up and celebrate on this song. We'll also use the cloth that we have when we are leaving. We celebrate twice. We celebrate when we begin, and we celebrate when we are about to leave. I invite you now, please, everyone. You look so lovely out there. So Edmund, it's a joy to see you. I also invite you, if the legs can do it, everyone stand up with me and let us celebrate. We are going to sing with this song. We're going to move. We're going to enjoy ourselves, because this is about celebration.
Come on, everybody, let's give God this worship. If you know He's awesome, come on, stand on your feet, everybody. If you know He's awesome, you're in all of His grace, you're in all of His goodness, you're in all of His mercy, you're in all of His provision.
We need more songs.
He's great and He's greatly to be praised.
Yes, we need more.
Hallelujah.
Sing it together.
Come on, everybody, lift your hands as we lift our voices. Come on, say, my God is awesome.
My God is awesome.
Come on, say, He can move mountains.
He can move mountains.
Keep me in the valley.
Keep me in the valley.
Come on, say, hide me from the rain.
Hide me from the rain.
That's it. My God is awesome.
My God
The Lord has set us in the mood of celebration. Now we are going to pray. Every night we pray the prayer of St. Francis of Assisi. It's a prayer of brotherhood. Those of us who are credit union members, you would know that prayer. That's the prayer that cements us together. Let us pray together. Oh, let's begin. Lord, make me an instrument of thy peace. Where there is hatred, let me sow love. Where there is division, pardon. Where there is doubt, faith. Where there is despair, hope. Where there is darkness, light. And where there is sadness, joy. May the Lord bless you and keep you. You may sit. Our lesson 1, we have 15 lessons in this series. Our lesson 1, as advertised, is education reform and life skills. There is a lot of question about the output of the global education system. Families are crying out. We send our children to school, but they are coming to us and they seem very fierce. They are killing us in our homes. We send our children to school. They get GCE. They get degrees. They get masters. Some of them have more degrees than a thermometer. But there is more crime by those same children in society. So people are calling for reform. The private sector says they are coming in for a lot of certificates. They are coming in for a lot of letters behind the name. But the gestation cycle is too long. We have to teach them too much. The productivity is low. So there is a call from the society. There is a call from the private sector. There is a call from the home that education needs to reform. Every night, our teaching method will run this way. We present the conventional literature to you. We highlight the work of a scholar or an institution of learning or institution of policy. This is what we call the empirical argument. The empirical argument is the argument or the explanation or the analysis based on what we see. In methodology, we call it quantitative method. And every night, having presented that approach, we present to you the normative argument. We present what Jesus teaches or the Word of God teaches on the very same subject. This we call the normative argument. What is a normative argument? It is explanation or analysis that is based not solely on what we see. In methodology, we call it qualitative method. We are told is when we put the qualitative method or the empirical method together with the normative method that we get to approach an understanding of the things around us and the people that we relate to. At the end of each of our presentation every night, we will ask you to make a judgment, make a decision on the findings that we have presented to you. Tonight, we present the father of modern American education, John Dewey. As a teacher, when I went to Teachers College, I had to learn him. In child psychology, educational psychology. He's a master, well acclaimed, one of the leading experts in the world. But John, I never understood when I went to school that John is a great educationist, a great educator, a great theorist, but he's an atheist. He's a prophet of humanism. So the things that I was learning from the perspective that I was learning it was coming from the atheistic perspective. So that the humanism, as a humanist, his teaching, his explanation, His analysis is based on the teachings of Charles Darwin. You know, there are many things we go to school. I mean, and I know that because I lecture at the University of the West Indies. You glory. You are happy what you are studying. You get high marks. But you don't know what is the philosophy behind what you are studying. Sometimes the very men that we revere, the very men that we love, they are godless men. And John Dewey was one of them. As the prophet of humanism, they teach many things, but we are just going to highlight just two of the teachings tonight. One, because they believe that we are in the process of evolving from an ape to a human being and a higher human being. Yes. They say, therefore, society must relax its social control. In other words, you're too hard. You're too tight. Society must cool off, must relax, and allow the individual to for self-direction. Secondly, they said, therefore, because we are evolving, we should forget that there is no absolute. We should judge things by what they seems to be right for you. What do we mean by that? It means you judge what is right for you. You judge what is right for you. You judge what is right for you. And that's okay, because each of you all are at different level of evolution. In literature, we call that social Darwinism. So here's a professor of humanism. Dewey wrote in 1944, we should make humanism, the teaching that I am just talking about, the religion in all public schools. A lot of what we learn in the public schools are godless teachings. But they are so couched, whether in economics, whether in sociology, whether in education, whether in finance, they are so couched and so structured. Unless you are able to understand the philosophy of the thinking man, you don't know exactly behind what you are studying. So, as a result, they are actually teaching you like this professor is showing here. In essence, that's where we came from. So he holds at the skull of the monkey, and he says, and he delights in that. He says, that's where we come from. So meaning that in essence what we are saying is, my mother was a monkey, or my grandmother was a monkey, or my grandmother was a monkey. Now if you say that to them, they get offended, but that's what you are saying. That's what you are saying. So in summary, humanism is the religion of the educated elite in the West. That is on both sides of the Atlantic. It teaches that there is no absolute truth. And if there is no absolute truth, there is no God. It indoctrinates our children. We send our children to school and they indoctrinate them into Darwinism. So as a result, what humanism have done for us is to create a permissive society. A society where you do what is right for you. Okay. And you have people say it all the time. Yeah. It's not right for me. That's not what I think. That's not what is right for me. As a result, what we have is unintended consequences. Anything that is not well-based has unintended consequences. When I went to teachers' college, we were taught that any time that you have taught something wrong, you will reap from the child unintended consequences. What are the unintended consequences? Many of them are leaving the colleges, the universities, the secondary school, uneducated. Yeah. they are certificated.
Yes.
Because they have done a body of work.
Yes.
They have a body of information.
Yes.
But education, we learned, is an agent for social change. Education makes you understand yourself and your environment and adapt to it. But they leave the institution with lots of papers. But what the private sector says, they say that some of them, you cannot get them to work. Why? They say because they come to work for money.
Yes.
Now get that very clear.
Yes.
What does the research say? The private sector manager said they want a work. They did not say they want a job in your firm. They want a work. In other words, they want a salary, a pay at the end of the week. They want a salary or a pay at the end of the fortnight or the month. They did not come to build your institution for you. They did not come to sweep your office for you. They did not come to build your brand. They did not come to be loyal to your organization. They said the statistics says of those school leavers who demonstrate loyalty, the percentage is below 50% of college students. But we're talking about statistics out of America. As a result, what do we have? Look at the data from out of UK 2015. There were 8,000 work stoppages, disputes. The money was the main cause for the dispute, and cumulatively across industries and sectors, the number of days lost in 2015 was 170,000. In other words, what they are showing is that at work, the phenomena is not so much about building the company. It's not about growing your company. It's about getting a pay. And if I'm not getting the pay, then I am going to act accordingly. So, as a result, what some people conclude, what some literature conclude, that our schools are graduating criminals. That's a very sad story, but it is true. Our schools are graduating. We send our children as innocent. They leave our school, they enter the colleges, they enter the university, they teach them humanism, which tell them you can do anything, so they come out as criminals. So as a result, they kill them in the school. Am I right? Yes. Am I right? Yes. They kill them in the home. In fact, some of them kill their parents in the home. They kill in the society, because violence, in a sense, if you tell people that they can do anything, if you tell people to relax their social control, then you have told them to take matters in their hands. So, here's America. In 11 days in America, 1,277 shooting incidents. That's okay in 11 days. Because you say, do your own thing, you pay the price. Yes. But that's what you said. That's what John Dewey said. You say, relax the control. Do your own thing, so you pay the price. So, we have to blame humanism. We have to blame humanism tonight for the destruction of our education system. The philosophy, the literature, the principles that undergirds what we teach in the school. They are moving away from making our children behave as human beings. They're making them behave as animals. They leave our house as human beings. Humanism take them and they make them into animals. Why? Because the Humanist Manifesto says, in the beginning man created God. In other words, because you are fearful, Because you can't explain things. Because you are ignorant. So you believe there is a God. So humanism says teach in all the schools. At every level. Teach that there is no God. That man is evolving. Relax your social control and you will have a better society. As a result, what have they done? Schools, our schools are graduating godless people. Our children leave our homes as praying children. We agonize for them. We go on our knees for them. We bend ourselves for them. We pray for them. We send them to the institution. We say we send them to the best institution.
Yeah.
We take huge loans at the bank. Some of us, we take loans that we can't pay. Only to bring them back as godless people. They come back as soon as they get a little education. They ask, who is God? Or they say, God is just another idea. I have statistics on America. I don't have on the Caribbean. But I know the Caribbean leaves, the Caribbean get an American, a Caribbean salary. But they live an American lifestyle. So I know whatever is true for America is true for the Caribbean. Oh yes! Oh yes! Oh yes! Let us listen to this video.
The Pew Research Center has released results from a recent poll that provides insights into the changing religious landscape in the United States. One of its findings indicates that Christians, as a share of the population, dropped from 78.4% in 2007 to 70.6% in 2014. Of those, 46.5% are Protestants, 20.8% are Catholics, with other Christian faiths making up the rest. More and more Americans do not identify with any organized religion. That population jumped from 16.1% in 2007 to 22.8% in 2014. Within that segment, 3.1% identify themselves as atheists, 4% agnostics, and 15.8% nothing in particular. Non-Christian faiths make up 5.9% of the U.S. population, with 1.9% Jewish, 0.9% Muslim, 0.7% Buddhist, 0.7% Hindus, and the rest under other religions. Muslim population is among the fastest growing, with a jump from 0.4% of the U.S. population in 2007 to 0.9% in 2014. 35,000 Americans were polled, and the Pew Research Center notes, while the drop in Christian affiliation is particularly pronounced among young adults, it is occurring among Americans of all ages. The same trends are seen among whites, blacks, and Latinos, among both college graduates and adults with only a high school education, and among women as well as men.
They have turned and continue to turn our children into godless children. They come back to the society. They're supposed to come back to society to build society, to build families, to build relationship, to build economies. They turn in the guns on us. They kill their fathers. They kill their brothers. They kill their sisters. And when they become husbands, they kill. If they don't kill, they are just brutal. This and if you watch it, these people have more degrees, they have more degrees, and some of them have so many degrees, when they write their names, there is not enough space behind their name to write the letters. This takes us to our assignment. Every evening, we will have an assignment. You were given some strips of papers because, as the manager said, you didn't come with your notebook. We are asking you to come with your notebook every night and something to write. Now, we will give you an assignment. The assignment is based on what we are teaching, both of the perspective, whether it is the conventional perspective or the Christian perspective. You may have to do some research. Some of them are very easy, or you Google something. Nowadays you can Google anything. For example, I wanted to pronounce somebody's name. I Googled that, and it says David. Do you know you can Google that? Oh yes, you can Google anything. You say, who is Peter? And he tell you, that little boy from St. Lucia. He's short. So, when you do the assignment, you have to come back with it. Come back with it. Write your name. Write your contact. Write your answers. When you register at the secretariat every night, you give them your assignment. They have the master paper. They're going to mark it. Then the following night, we are going to correct the assignments. So you get your assignment tonight. Tomorrow night you bring your assignment. Tomorrow night at the bonding session, we'll have a bonding session. The bonding session is where we are going to connect with each other. We are going to correct the assignments, and we are going to take your questions and your comments. You can ask your questions.
That's right.
We say it's a symposium. You can ask your questions.
Yes.
So we'll give you a chance to ask your questions from the floor. And the night after, so it means on Tuesday, the secretariat will give us the list of those who have done well. We'll say these are those who passed the who have passed the assignments. We'll put all the names in a box, and we will give 2 prizes every night.
Okay.
We give you a reward for everything you do under this symposium. I hope you have your symposium book. Do you have the symposium book? Do you have your symposium? You're supposed to get a symposium book if you're a visitor. Is there any visitor without a symposium book? Just raise your hand. There is a visitor without a symposium book. Ushers. Ushers, don't keep me back, please. I see another hand. Okay, stand up, stand up, stand up, stand up. No visitor comes here without getting a symposium book. So go to each of the visitors, register them and give them the symposium book. So I continue. So quickly we are going to write now. Here is our assignment. Go quickly. They have to write the assignments. So you have your paper. Write quickly. There is a beautiful movie, a Christian movie called God's Not Dead by Harold Crumb. If you have a chance, look at this movie. Google it. You have 3 questions. What is the setting for the movie? 2, who is the hero? 3, what is the outcome? Let's go over it again. Quickly, I have to move on. What is the setting for the movie? Who is the hero? And what is the outcome? We'll say it one more time for you. So you come with your notebook every night so you can write quickly. The movie, you can Google it, you'll get everything if you Google it. God's Not Dead. What is the setting? Who is the hero? What is the outcome? Beautiful. So then we are ready. So we have made a case for education reform. We have argued that the humanist literature is not meeting the demands of the private sector and is not meeting the demands of the society. They are doing our children more harm than good. They are giving them papers, but they are not changing their behavior, or they are not molding them to become good citizens. So we are calling for education reform, as the whole world is calling. Here is one lady who writes on education reform, Ellen G. White, in her book Education. If you can see it, let's read it together. Hear what she says about education. Can you see it? Yes. She says, let's read together.
Through education, the harmony of mental, and spiritual powers.
Her argument, which is collaborated by many reformers, education reformers, that education is to nurture an entire or whole man. Education must build the spiritual powers of the man or the woman, the physical powers of the man or the woman, the mental power. In other words, if one of the powers are not properly developed, then the man becomes maladjusted. So, see what is happening in humanism. Humanism deals with the mental. They give them their perspective, relax social control, and let them use self-direction. They might have done some physical, because people do a lot of sports, but they don't do any spiritual. Why? They tell you that man created. They said God is not important, so they say you created that because of fear, because you could not explain the growth of diseases. So as a result, what they give to us is an education that is imbalance. Ellen G. White calls for a balanced education, an education that develops our physical, our mental, and our spiritual powers. Now we come to our second perspective. We present the Christian perspective, the Christian literature. Every night, the Christian literature, I present the sayings of Jesus Christ. Why? Because I, Peter Adrien, have no authority to speak here on behalf of God. Because the Bible says, and let's read it, in the past, God spoke through the prophets. But in the last days, he speaks through who? He speaks through his Son. So it means, therefore, Jesus Christ is the only authority who is supposed to speak. So when I come here, if you ask me my opinion, I can give you an opinion on economics, for which I am trained. I can tell you what will happen with GDP, with employment, with investment, what will happen to banking and finance. But when it comes to spiritual matter, I am only a messenger.
All right.
Paul calls it an ambassador. So I only say what Jesus has to say. So when you ask me, I will tell you this is what is written, or this is what Jesus says. But you want my opinion? I tell you, ask me about sociology. Ask me about economics. So therefore, whenever we come to speak about the Christian perspective, we look at the authority of Jesus and his word, which is God-breathed. So, when I reach in that part, normally I will ask you, who is in the house? What do you answer? Jesus. Who is in the house? Jesus. Who is in the house? Jesus. You're afraid, man. Who is in the house? Jesus. You're afraid. Who is in the house? Jesus. You're afraid. Who is in the house? Jesus. That's it. That's it. That's it. Now, mind you, this is not the picture of Jesus Christ. Nobody have seen the picture of Jesus Christ. Michelangelo and the rest of the artists, they give us an artist impression based on the culture. So we use the picture not because that is the picture, but in a sense for explanatory reason. Right. But when I come, I will ask you, who is in the house? Jesus. Beautiful. So let's hear what Jesus says now. So remember, John Dewey says that we have to anchor the explanation in what can be seen. The empirical method. The empirical method, the method of quantification, the method that can be replicated. If you cannot see it, if you cannot measure it, throw it. Whatever you cannot see, you cannot measure, we don't want it. That's what they say. Jesus said, shall we read it together? Happy are those who have never seen and yet have believed. Hallelujah! Shall we read it again? Happy are those who have never seen and yet have believed. In other words, the seen is the empirical, what can be measured. But he says that, Jesus is saying, there is a meaning, there is an explanation, there is an analysis that is valid but cannot be seen, but must be believed. So Jesus is saying, therefore, we must put together the empirical analysis together with the normative analysis. We must put together the analysis of what can be seen and what cannot be seen so we can get the truth. So Jesus' method is called faith methodology. What's it called? Faith methodology. What is it called? Faith methodology. And Jesus appeals to reason. So here we speak a lot about the mind. Aristotle, Plato use a lot about reasoning. In fact, Max Weber, great sociologist, even John Maynard Keynes, the great economist, use reasoning. The great eclectic work like Arthur Lewis, they use reason because they understand that you cannot just build on what you can see, but you must build on what you cannot see, and as well because what you cannot see most times have the most meaning. Oh yes. He said, well, okay, but the fellow did that over there, man. He committed the crime. He did that over there, you know. You ask, have you spoken to him? When you go and speak to him, he said, yes, I killed I killed my wife, you know. Why did you kill your wife? Well, at that time, I was very angry, and she get me very vexed, and I just do my hand that, and it hit her by her head. I tried to wake her up and she's not waking up. Now what am I saying there? I am not saying he didn't kill her, but there is an additional meaning that you have learned. This is called the meaning of what cannot be seen, and that you put together. So Jesus said, contrary to the humanists, you will know the truth, and the truth will make you free. What did he say? You will know the truth, and the truth will make you free. Notice what Jesus said. He said, the truth. He didn't say a truth. Now in English language I learned that there is a definite article. Am I speaking English language? Yes. Well, am I speaking English language? Yes. The definite article indicates that there is none other like it. It indicates that it is the only one. It is the only one, or the one and only. Jesus went further. But before we go to Jesus, I like what Sir Isaac Newton said. Now, Sir Isaac Newton is a powerful man of empirical science, scientific method. He was knighted for that. Great man, knowledgeable man. But notice what he said. He said, Plato is my friend. Aristotle is my friend. But my greatest friend is what? I like that. So people tell you, well, I cannot do this, you know, because I cannot do this because my friends will not like it, my mother will not like it, or my boyfriend will not like it. Say, but darling, or let me ask you, what I ask you to do, is that the correct thing to do? Yes, I know it's the correct thing to do, but my friends don't like it. So Isaac Newton says he stands by what is. He stands by what is. Now, so Isaac knew some more truths. He also knew the truth that cannot be seen. This is his quotation. He said the prophecies of Daniel is an important prophecy that we need to note, because Christianity is a truth. And it is founded upon the prophecy concerning the Messiah in the book of Daniel. Yes. Now, I want you to note something. A scientist who understands empirical science, he understands also that the normative truth is as equally important. So Isaac says that if you go in the book of Daniel, you will be able to trace another truth, which he calls Christianity, and it is based on the coming of a Messiah. What was he talking about? So Isaac was talking about Daniel chapter 9, verses 24 to 29, which is famously called Daniel's 70 weeks. What do you call it? Daniel's 70 weeks. Now the Daniel 70 weeks prophecy is a very popular prophecy, but it's a prophecy which is part of a longer prophecy. It's a prophecy that came in after Jeremiah's prophecy was fulfilled. Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, took the children of Israel, whom God had chosen, to promulgate his message into the world. They took them into captivity because of their rebellion. But Jeremiah prophesied that they would be in Babylon for 70 years. While in Babylon, they are to enjoy themselves, build houses, marry and do everything. But at the end of the 70 years, God would bring them back. In Daniel chapter 8, Daniel chapter 8, Daniel says that the prophecy of Jeremiah is fulfilled. The 70 years is up. So Daniel is lamenting and agonizing with God in chapter 8. And God is going to give Daniel the explanation as to how he's going to bring and when he's going to bring his people out and how he's going to deal with his people. The Daniel 70 weeks is is part of a larger prophecy, Daniel chapter 8:14, which says, unto 2,300 days, then shall the sanctuary be cleansed. It has the very same starting point as the 70 weeks, but tonight we are only going to deal with Sir Isaac Newton. So Isaac Newton is interested in the birth of Christianity. So maybe at a later time we will come back to Daniel 14. But tonight we are going to deal with the truth that Sir Isaac Newton says that lies in Daniel 70 weeks prophecy. So let's read it together. What we have done is to summarize it. Daniel chapter 9 verse 14. In Daniel chapter 8, Daniel is doing all the agonizing and all the praying. God sends the angels to give him the answer. And in Daniel chapter 9, he is articulating what are the things and how it will happen. In verse 24, he says, 70 weeks are upon thy people, that is the people of Israel, to finish the transgression. Let's read it together. And to make reconciliation for iniquity, and to bring in everlasting righteousness, and to anoint the most holy. We go to 25. Now, in verse 25, he tells Daniel what will be the starting point for that time. He said, know and understand that from the going forth of the commandment to restore and build Jerusalem unto the Messiah that Sir Isaac spoke about shall be 7 weeks, 80 and 2 weeks. And we skip now verse 26 because 27 has the clincher. And he says, he shall confirm the covenant with many in 1 week. And in the middle of the week, something special shall happen. He shall cause the sacrifice and the oblation to cease. Let's go back now. Let's go back and make sense of it now. Let's go back and make sense of it. He tells Daniel, 70 weeks is what I have allotted unto my people Israel that I sent into captivity for the rebellion. That is a probationary time for them to get their house in order if they want to be my people to promulgate my message. But he said, you will know when it will start, because there will be a decree there will be a commandment, there will be a law that will give them authority to go back and build Jerusalem. But he said from that time until the Messiah comes, which Sir Isaac spoke about, will be 7 weeks, 80 and 2 weeks. 7 weeks is 7 weeks. A score is 20. 80 is 60. 2 weeks is 2 weeks. That gives us 69 weeks. Are we all right on that? Are we all right on that? 69 weeks. So we're missing one for the 70. Then he says, in that 70th week, something special will happen in the midst of the week. Let us understand it.